Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, everyone. So, those of you who don't know, my name is Lindsay. Tonight, our community Zoom call is going to be about finding success in your fitness. And when I talk about fitness, I'm kind of talking about the workout portion of it, the exercises that you might be doing, what's bettering your overall health journey. Um, so what I did is I broke it down, and I apologize if I have notes that I'm working from because I didn't want to leave out any details. Those of you who don't know, I used to do personal training, so that kind of comes from a little bit of a background of where I'm kind of going to go through each of these stages. And I thought it was best to divvy it up as stages because we all have different phases that we're in. Some of us joining, this might be your first week. This might be your first day that you're seeing this. Others of you, you might be doing this for a couple weeks already, or you might have been doing this with us since the beginning of the year, for years even. And others might have kind of either fallen off, had personal things happen in your life, whether it's, you know, you're needing to modify, whether you feel like you've fallen off and you need to hop back in, and you're kind of just in that limbo phase and you're not sure what success might look like. So the three stages that I broke down are basically like if you're the beginner just starting out, if you're, I'm going to call it just the expert, or like say the intermediate person who's been doing this for a while, you're on point and you kind of have your regimen and your routine down. And the other one is like those of you who are like modifying or like in a healing phase of, whether you're something, yes, Kelly, whether something's like either triggered or you have an injury that you're kind of milking a little bit, but trying to get back in. So success is going to look different for each and every one of us. And I'm going to start off, and I know we've talked about this in other calls, that you don't want to compare yourself, compare where you are in your phase, even what stage you're at. Do not compare. Where you are is where you are supposed to be, and that is perfect. So I'm going to start with being a beginner. So a lot of these, I'm also going to say, are related to like where you are and like your fear and also like that mental part of it, kind of overcoming the fear to work through finding the success. Because if you are able to overcome what fears you might be facing in whatever stage you're at, it'll help you to find out, narrow down what that success might look like. So as a beginner, like I said, you're starting out, this is brand new to you. I'm going to say it's probably the easiest part or the easiest phase to find success because any little piece of the puzzle that you're doing is going to be successful because you might not have been doing anything yesterday. And today, even if you, and I know we've talked, I think Angie mentioned this before, even if you put on your workout clothes and you're sitting there watching the workout, that was one step closer to reaching a goal than it was yesterday. So I don't want you to think I don't want you to narrow your mind down to think, well, that really it wasn't working out, or I didn't really do what others are doing, or I don't think that counts, because it definitely does count, because you could have just done the same thing you did yesterday, right? So even just putting on those workout clothes and sitting there watching the workout is a success for you. Even in this stage, you're also going to be able to set up like those small little realistic goals, because we've talked about them having SMART goals, making sure they're measurable, timely, all of that stuff. You really want to make sure you have your goals set, but one little piece is going to at least push you forward. Something that kind of hit me when I think about this for beginners is even finding balance in what you're doing is a success? Because it might be really difficult for you to find out when you're going to work out or how that's going to look for you, because you might be a busy mom, you might be a stay-at-home mom, you might be working outside the home, you might, I don't know, you might be going to school even. Wherever you are, finding the time to do this and finding that balance is going to be something that is a success, okay? And you figure I'm going to keep saying that, but it's like what I want you guys to remember after tonight's call is I'm going to give you so many different ideas of what success is going to look like that I want you to at least grab onto one of them and say, you know what, this week I'm going to look for that pinpoint of success in what I'm doing. So even if it's, you know, you put your workout clothes on this week, then that's what I want you at the end of this week to know. Wow, you know what? I just had success in this journey, because let's face it, we're not doing this just for a week. We're not doing this for a month. We want this to be able to be long-term for us. So that's where I want you to find one thing this week as a beginner, you know, of what your success looked like. And know that by doing that this week, you've also created a habit. So and I think I have a fly flying around. You have found a habit in, even if it's putting the workout clothes on, doing it for 5 minutes, even if it's not a set program, and say you're still in that limbo phase of finding what program fits you, even if you tried one component of one workout program, or you tried another one over here this day, you still did something. You still got your heart rate up. You still, in the simplest terms, you still got your body moving. And that's all we're asking you to do, is just move your body. Even if it was you took a walk with somebody on a day that you really didn't feel like it, because I think a lot of us are kind of, you might not want to do the workout sometimes, but you always feel better after you do them. So that's kind of like the beginner phase that I'm going to leave you with. So the second one that I'm going to talk about is if you're like that expert, or you're that intermediate person who's been with us for a while, you've been, you know, you have your set programs, you know exactly what you want to do. You have your rhythm, you have your routine, you have your habits set. A lot of times in this phase, I'm going to say, and you figure I have some questions that I thought I would ask even. So something here is, you might be thinking, the scale hasn't moved. You know, what am I supposed to do? Like, what does this success look like for me? Because I'm doing all the work and I'm putting in what I'm supposed to, but I've reached that plateau. So yeah, success is doing my 4 workouts or 5 workouts a week, you know, or it's hitting my nutrition, and you've seen this. So sometimes you can kind of get non-complacent in this, you know, like just, you feel like you're just going through the movement, but you still have to, you might have to look a little deeper for what the success might be. So what I'm going to say is, you still have to give yourself credit. You have that habit that you're doing every single day. You also, you figure I was writing this left-handed as holding a baby. So it's like, oh my goodness, what did I write? So also, you also have to realize that success can be a mental shift in your workout. So when you've hit that plateau, just knowing that, what I'm going to say is, so that scale might not be moving, but did you take those before pictures that we talk about? Did you pick an outfit maybe that you want to fit in? Because the biggest piece of advice that I can give you when you're in this stage is, you might not be noticing the numbers change. And what's going to be really scary, and this is talking personal experience, is when the numbers go up. because we never want the numbers to go up, do we? It's scary. But if you know you're doing the work and you know your nutrition is, an 8, 9, 10 even, then you can't be nervous about that slight weight gain, because your body is probably transitioning somehow. So whether it's your muscles are getting a little tighter, you might not have the jiggle under the arms anymore. You might not, your hips might be narrowing in a little bit, and you'll feel clothes fit differently. So when you're at this expert or intermediate stage that you've been doing this for a while and you feel like you hit that plateau, maybe look back and maybe take a picture on a Sunday. Like today, take a picture. And at the end of this week, take another picture. You might not notice that, I'm going to say do this weekly, but at least it'll give you some little motivation too. Ideally, you want to do it at the end of the month, or at least the end of a couple weeks to see maybe a little more progress depending on where you are. But yeah, photos are big. And just seeing that slight difference might give you that extra little motivation to say, wow, you know what? I really am on the right track. I can keep this up. I shouldn't get discouraged with myself because the number on the scale went up. The other thing is if you have clothes that you're going to feel are just fitting differently. So your clothes might not be tight around the hips anymore, but they might start to feel a little snug around the thighs, which is not a bad thing to have. You're getting muscular, you're getting fit, you're getting tone. And what I will tell you too, I will preface this with what I tell so many people. You will not bulk up no matter how much you think you will. Being a woman, you don't have that amount of testosterone that's going to make you bulk up. You're going to lean out. So don't be nervous about, oh my gosh, I'm lifting heavier. You're just lifting for what you can lift. You're strong. And that's about how you can put it. You're strong. And that's a good thing. And that's something that can even look like success for you. You're able to lift a little bit more this time. You were able to hold the baby a lot longer, or an older child, you were able to, move. But little things like that can look like success for you when you're in this stage. So you figure photos, how clothes are feeling, and don't discredit the fact that you still have a habit. You haven't fallen off in a sense. You're still there. Lastly, what I will talk about is the people who are in that intermediate, and this might be the hardest one to kind of feel like you're successful because you're in the intermediate. You might be modifying. You might have fallen off. You were doing really good for the last couple months, and then you just all of a sudden something happened with life, whether you had an injury, whether just family got overwhelming, whatever it might be. There's different seasons, and just take that into heart that it's a season. You don't have to just stop. You might have stopped showing up. We miss you. We want you all back. We want to make sure that everybody kind of benefits from this. And we want you to find the success in your area. So in this phase, you figure you might be thinking, can you be successful? And I know I've had this thought too, is can you be successful when you haven't finished a program, right? Or you're not doing the same program that everybody else is doing. Is that a bad thing? And it's not, because from my own personal experience, I was not able to, I tried as much as I wanted, but when T20 came out, I was not able to do it. And it can be discouraging, but at the same time, you have to realize you might not be there right now. I was not able to I had to hold my son a lot. So it was one of those, I can't hold him and do a workout. So yes, honor your season that you're in and have that respect that just do it a different time that might work best for you. So that's what I will say. So finding success when you've fallen off sometimes is finding a buddy. We've thrown that out there before. Find a workout, find an accountability partner that's doing a similar program, that maybe is in a similar situation as you. Whether you're working, a stay-at-home mom, whatever that area is and what that season looks like for you, find somebody in this group. There are so many people, and the accountability part really does help sometimes, because then when you start to feel yourself say, well, I didn't do it today. Was it really worth it? Should I even continue this week? Because I'm already at Tuesday, or I'm at Wednesday, and I haven't done one workout. You'll have somebody to say, yes, it is worth it, because we're all here together. Success when you're in here might even be if you have an injury or you have to honor a healing process, even might simply just be, you know what? I was able to keep my heart rate up for 10 minutes of the workout today. And even though I stopped short of the workout, I was still able to keep, even if you marched in place for 5 minutes of that workout, or you had the whole program, that whole workout running, you were still able to complete it in some form. Because sometimes it might not be perfect, it might not be 100% or what you think. And I think that's where I also say it's definitely a mental shift. So if you can come and accept the fact that the season you're at is just, you've come back, be happy and take that as a big success that you came back this week, and you're recommitting in a sense that you're going to focus on something. So whatever that goal might be, whether it's 3 workouts, 4 workouts, you're going to work out 7 days this week, whatever it might be for you, honor that and know that that's successful, that you came back and said, I'm going to do it. I might have fallen off, but I'm going to do it. Because that's the biggest part in this whole thing, because you got back up when you fell. And nobody in this group is going to say, well, she fell off. Do we really should we help her? No, we've all fallen off, every single one of us. It just happens. And the benefit of this and this whole community is everybody's been there in some sort of way, whether it's, you might have been an expert and rocked it for 3 months. If you're doing it for longer, that's great. You know what I mean? And we are there for you. But at the same time, if you've fallen off, we've all fallen off at times. If you feel like you're a beginner again, we've all had to get back up, brush ourselves off, ditch the pride and say, you know what, I'm back. I'm going to do it, and just embrace it. So you figure it's really kind of short, like a really short and sweet is what I keep it at. But basically that's kind of overall, like my overall summary is really just find the phase of life in your journey right now for your fitness, whether it's a beginner, whether it's an expert, whether you're trying to heal and come back, whether you need to modify, even if you need to modify the modifier, that's fine. Find one thing this week that you're going to focus on to make yourself find that success. And even if it's a day-by-day goal, and it might be different each day depending on your schedule, depending on what you're doing, but find one thing when you wake up in the morning that you're going to look for in your fitness, so in your exercise, in your health, when you're getting your heart moving. Find one thing that's going to give you that success this week. What is that going to look like? And share it with all of us, because share it with an accountability partner that you have in this group, because when you start to say what it might be, it just brings it to that much more life over it, because you're going to have to almost, you're held accountable then. People, we're going to push you and say, hey, did you find that success this week? Like, what did you do that you can say you succeeded in? But yeah, so you figure just overall, it can be something as simple as your weight. It can be something as simple as how many workouts you're doing, that you just push play, that you just got workout clothes on. And I say just, but it's not really it's you got workout clothes on. You did some of the workout. You finished the workout. Whether it might not look pretty, but you finished the workout. Your nutrition was good. Whatever that might be, that's what I want you guys to focus on this week. So, does anybody have anything else that they want to add?
I just think this is really good. Thank you. Like, I think as we go in, and especially people, some are going to be doing Morning Meltdown as it comes out, and some are going to be starting different programs. Like, you're right. And this past weekend at the summit, one of the speakers wrote a book called Atomic Habits, and it's actually I'm going to probably get it to listen to on Audible. But he said a lot of what you were saying. So I just want to say, like, it's like about creating the habit in the season. So like for me right now in my season of healing, my habit the last 2 weeks was to do 10 minutes every day of the workouts. Some days I did 12 minutes, but I wouldn't let myself do more because I'm healing, but I watch the rest of it. So I felt like I got to, and I had to let it go. Like even at Summit Saturday morning, they have a super trainer workout, and every trainer trains you for 10 minutes. So it's an hour and a half workout. And I got to minute 30 and I was like, Kelly, what are you doing? Like, you're healing. You cannot do an hour and a half. So I left, you know what I mean? But I didn't feel defeated, because I had to have that mental shift, because what kept me getting me sick was the all or nothing, And so, thank you for mentioning that. Because I think it's like, I'd rather someone do 10 minutes, 4 days a week than like nothing or one workout and then, burn themselves out. So I think it's so good for all of this was really good, but that was really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. No, and that's what I think. Even like if you know that you have, and I tell people this all the time, if you have like one thing or like one body part that you want to work on, or one exercise that might be challenging for you, like write it down maybe. So if push-ups are tough for you and you're doing them on your knees, and you were only able to do 2, that's okay. But make a note of it, because then a week from now, if you were to try to do that same exact move, even if you only did 3, you still did 1 more, right? So even if you did now 5, or you did 1 not on your knees, like that's still something. So that's kind of the mentality that you want to go in with too, is just success doesn't have to be that all or nothing, like Kelly said. It's just find one thing that you can focus on to show your success, even.
I love that. So good. Thank you. So the thing you're saying is for us to choose one thing this week, that like define one thing that you would consider success to focus. Okay. Can you reiterate
I was going to say, so you figure every Saturday we even have like our celebration right on Saturday anyway. But when you listen to this again, think about what stage you're at. So are you like a beginner? Or are you just doing this? Are you kind of jumping back in and modifying, or finding that healing? Or are you like an expert that it might be a little challenging? You've hit a plateau. What can you find? I want you guys to think about, what is that one thing this week that you can say you found success in? So you figure like some of the examples, like for a beginner, even that you just got your workout clothes on, that you did 3 workouts, is it going to be a number that you hit? And it doesn't have to, you don't have to even if you say, I want to do 5 workouts, but you got 3, that's still successful, because last week, did you do 0 or did you do 1? It might have been just 1 more. So find something that you can really focus on, because that's what you want. You want to focus on that one thing. If you're an expert, is it that mental shift that you might need to find? You know, being okay, and really being okay and accepting, you know, the nutrition is where you really got to focus on. You know, you have all this, the exercises down. Is it going to be something where it's a move? How many moves can you do in one, you know, workout? So by the end of the week, how many can you do now? Excuse me, is it more? You know, the mental shift. If you're healing or modifying, is it just that number? You know, did you get 1 extra workout? Did you do a little bit, 1 minute longer, even like Kelly said? What's it going to look like? What is that success in your fitness and in your exercise and getting your body moving? What is it going to be this week? And really focus on. So at the end of this week, we can all celebrate. So when we have our celebration Saturday post go up, I also want to see like how you found success and how you were able to love your fitness. Like, I want everybody, we might not enjoy working out all the time, but I want you to at least love getting your body moving and love the exercise part of it and the health part of it when you're doing this. Because if it's not fun, let's face it, we're probably not going to do it, right? But if we can find something that kind of brought us a little bit more joy and a little bit more success, it's just that much better. So yeah, I just want you to find one thing that you can focus on in your journey, and you can even tell people, are you a beginner? Are you an expert? Like, where do you feel like you fit in? Find some people who are like that and really focus together on what success is going to look like for each person.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's like talking up a storm. I had to mute. Say hi.
Say hello.
Could you close us out in prayer?
Yes. Okay. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, please watch over us. Thank you for bringing us together and bringing us this community. Help us to learn to listen to our bodies and listen to what you want us to see this week and what you want us to focus on when we're enjoying the process of getting moving and being healthier, and even helping us to define why we're doing this in our journey. Thank you for just always being a light and always showing us where you need us most. And I guess in your holy name, I pray that you just watch over our group, and whoever's watching this on the recording, you know, we pray that this just speaks to you and you find some peace or some answers to questions that you might have had and where you might have fit in, or wanting to find the success in this part of your journey. So, your most holy name, amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen.
Thank you. I'll get this so we can post it in the morning and have this for our focus for the week. This was really helpful. I love how you drew on your strength as a trainer. Like, you have so much wisdom there that I don't have, and it was just really helpful for you to break this down. So thank you so much, Lindsay.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
You guys have an awesome night.
Thanks.